Hunter mains, this is a video for yous. You're going to be eating good with this video. This is now my new favourite hunter build of episode Heresy. Without a doubt, changed the game for me for hunters. So hunter mains, you need to listen to this build. This video is going to be in two parts. Part one will be the build description, very in-depth information. Will take a long time explaining it, but you'll get everything. And then part two will be the demonstration of the build. Build video, solo GM, combine them together, you get the complete package. That way I'm not just talking things to you. I'm not just saying things at you. I'm saying things at you and then say, no, here's the evidence to tell you what I've just said. Don't take my word for it. Let the gameplay tell you what it is. So, there's an inherent problem right now in the game, and I can see that with Titan Warlock Hunter splits, community numbers, episode Heresy. Light.gg has now analytics that you can look up that it's in beta and it's not exact. It's not exact numbers as far as what Light.gg has told me. But the stats are dead interesting. The stat you're going to see on screen coming up is the most popular subclasses and classes right now in the game for PvE only. This is nothing to do with PvP. Only PvE. Okay, so the most popular class, as you can see, is Titan at 50%. Warlock comes in at second at 29%. Hunter comes in at dead last at 20%. So do you see there the numbers on, do you see how far less Hunter is? Obviously Titan's overwhelmingly winning because of Striker Titan. When we come over to popular subclasses, the most popular subclass in the game, according to Light.gg, is Striker Titan at 38%. Prismatic Warlock's number 2. That's a shocker. Prismatic Warlock's fantastic, but I didn't realise it'd be number 2. Prismatic Titan is actually 3rd. That's shock. That shocked me. I thought Prismatic Titan might be number 2, but it's not. Stormcaller's fantastic. I think people are not sleeping on it anymore. It can't be, because people are actually running Stormcaller as much as people are running Prismatic Titan. Stormcaller's really nuts right now, and if you pair it with a poison build as well, it's really effective, like I've showed you. Stormcaller's fantastic. It really, really is good now in the game, and the stats show that. So notice there's no hunter subclasses. The most popular hunter subclass in the game is Night Stalker. Hunter mains, why he's running Night Stalker in PvE, tell me. Is there something I don't know about? Is On the Prowl better than what I realised? So those are interesting stats. So we need to notice Prismatic Hunter's not even on there, right? So let's try and spread the goodness and try and get people on Prismatic Hunter. Because I thought there was more Prismatic Hunter mains than there actually are. There isn't that many. They're going on Night Stalker. I guess because it's an easier class to understand. But this build in particular is changing the game for hunters. Right? So let's go through this. Right? So it's a Prismatic Hunter build to promote people, or hunter mains especially, to go more and use Prismatic Hunter build. This is fantastic. It's amazing how good this is. This is now my favourite hunter build of this season. Radiant Dance Machines it's all based on Radiant Dance Machines and with the clone build with Freddy Spectre. Let's read what the game says and then what Destiny 2 Compendium says. Radiant Dance Machines got a rework. The dance moderately increases airborne effectiveness and hip fire mobility, range and accuracy for weapons that use primary ammo. Final blows with primary ammo weapons return dodge energy which can overflow to create additional charges when full. That's what it says, but the exotic is far more in-depth than what that description says. So let's come on to the picture that I've got. Now, it's a big picture with a lot of stats. I'm gonna ignore the airborne effectiveness stat for now. Like, that's not that important. What's important is the second and third paragraphs. Reading this. Primary weapon kills grant fixed class ability energy. Rank and file equals 34%. That's red at barred enemies. Elite equals 100%, Guardians equal 100%. So elite enemies are champions, orange bars. I don't know, actually not orange bars. I think it's just... I'm not 100% if it's orange bars or not. We'll see in my run. I don't know that information. It's champions and stuff like that, mini bosses. Upon reaching 100% counter progress by scoring multiple primary weapon kills within 6 seconds of each other at full class ability energy. Rank and file 34, elite 100%. Grants an additional class ability charge up to a maximum of 2 additional class ability charges. So you can get 3 class ability charges with this exotic. Now, this is very good in PvE because you can spam clones with this. Yeah. Now this is where we'll come onto the build first. Silk Strike goes on because Silk Strike's fantastic on Prismatic and it's Strand Surge this week. So I go with Silk Strike. It's doing incredible damage right now. Yeah. So we've got Marksman's Dodge on for the lower cooldown. Take note, Gambler's Dodge. Yes, it gives you your melee back, but it's a 10. It's a lower cooldown. You don't want it. I don't think you need Gambler's Dodge. My build did not need it. I got enough melees in my runs when I've been using this. I didn't need Gamblers. But what I would say is, this is not set in stone. If you really, really do want to run Gamblers, you can. All I'm saying is, I love Marksman's because it allowed me to play more aggressive with my weapons. It would reload my weapons while I do my Ascension stuff. Wyvern Blade is fantastic against overloads, unstoppables and even barrier champions, and it slows VIP targets. For me, it's the best melee ability for the hunters, basically. It's between this or Threaded Spike. I know combo blows in the game, but that's for a different build entirely. That's for punch dodging, and we aren't punch dodging. No. For me, I need Unstoppable and Overload utility. Wyvern Blade goes on, and your melee ability is so important because whatever melee ability you pick influences the Transcendence melee that you get. Transcendence melee you get. Oh, just to mention the grenade, the Transcendence grenade for hunters. This is maybe point out the obvious, but it's not though. It does solar energy and stasis energy. You need to know about that for your fragments because you can buff this nade. Yeah? There we go. Then we start to get to the next thing. Aspects. You are going to throw Invis in the bin. You're going to throw Stylish Execution in the bin. You don't even need it per se for this build. What makes this build so good is the decoys are going to be in the air for you as you spam Ascension. Ascension lifts you up in the air, we all know this, and it jolts and it amplifies. So you're going to get a free 15% damage resist, and adds are going to be harder to hit you because you were amplified. You can spam Ascension back to back to back, even more with Radiant Dance Machines, so you're going to get that benefit. But while you do your Ascension, you're going to get a Freddy Spectre in the air. Because that Freddy Spectre or that clone or that android or whatever you want to call him, Android 16's in the air, whatever it is, he's going to be in the air and he's going to be added to be taken out. That means you can melt all the adds while the adds are on your clone. Whilst you're amplified, whilst you've jolted all the adds. This playback loop's phenomenal. It's probably the best interaction I have seen this season. It's that good. And you know that I don't really play Hunter as much in Titan Warlock, but this will make me play way more Hunter than what I've been doing. Fragments. Facet of Ruin, because that's going to help with your Transcendence Nade. And it's going to help with Dustfield. Oh, I didn't cover the nade, did I? Dustfield Grenade goes on because we want Darkness Energy in my kit. I want Darkness Energy because you need a mixture of Darkness and Light Energy to get plenty of Transcendences. So I've went with Dustfield for more utility with Unstoppables and Overloads because we're doing solo GM, aren't we? Your Dustfield will help with your Facet of Ruin, your Wyvern Blade will, your Transcendence Nade will. So do you see the amount of benefits you get? And you get plus 10 mobility, look. So that's huge. Facet of Protection is always on for anything endgame in Destiny 2 for Prismatic builds. Facet of Hope, because when you get an elemental buff, in this case Ascension, with Amplified, you'll get your Amplified back quicker because of the elemental buff. Facet of Dawn for Radiant buff, which is a 20% buff to your weapons. You're going to be doing this quite a lot with Wyvern Blade, and especially when you're on your Transcendence. You keep throwing your melees, you keep getting Radiant. That's going to stack with the Transcendence buff also. Facet of Balance is just an all-round fantastic fragment that I equip for neutral gameplay when we're playing on Prismatic. Finally, Facet of Purpose. This ties everything together. We're going to get Orbs of Power and we're going to get Woven Mail because we're on Silk Strike, which is a damage resist. This will stack with Amplified Buff. You are going to be tankier. You're going to be less likely to be hit by enemies because of Amplified and because of your clone. Unreal. Unreal. Mods are on screen. Let's maybe go through it because this is more in depth. I just went with double kinetic siphon. It didn't matter. You don't need a regeneration mod on your helmet. Don't worry about it at all. What's more important is getting orbs. You're going to get plenty of supers. You are solo. All the champions are for you. You can be greedy and get all that super that you want. Don't worry about a damn hands-on or something or whatever you want. Don't worry about that. Just get a good siphon on. In my case, I want kinetic siphon on because I'm going to spam my primary ammo because of Radiant Dance Machines. Font of Vigor's actually good in this because I keep getting my Orbs of Power. I get a 30 tier plus to strength. So I'm at tier 3 for strength now, right? Well, when I get my Orbs of Power, which is going to be 90% of the strike or the GM, I'm going to be tier 6 strength. That's actually pretty good. It means I don't need to spec for strength. Although I could have redistributed stats, and I'll come on to that in a minute. Okay, double solar resist for the GM that I picked. This is particular to the GM that you use. You change this no matter what GM you're doing or whatever it is. Concussive Dampener is the best resistance mod in the game. It offers a 15% damage resist against area effect damage. This is the most common damage that you are going to receive while you are solo. Therefore, Concussive Dampener is the absolute best resistance mod that you can use. It stacks with Woven Mail, Amplified, etc. Void Scav because we're matching my weapons. You don't want Surge. Although I could have ran Surge in this. I could have actually because I'm getting a lot of orbs, but Scav is just a bit more important for longevity of the solo, you know, for consistency of the ammo and all this sort of stuff. Insulation gives class ability regen, matching the theme of the video, and recuperation always goes on for health. To help you stay alive in the fight and play aggressive, Prox Ward is one of the best mods in the game. You gain a powerful overshield when you finish targets. You're going to be doing that a lot. Powerful Attraction. This stack, you can stack it up. I just went with one, which worked out fine. You just collect nearby orbs when you use your Ascension. That's actually rather good, because when you pop Ascension, if there's orbs on the floor, you get Woven Mail. That is good for the playback loop. Means you don't need to scramble for orbs, and that's pretty good. Reaper falls into the Powerful Attraction. So when I use my class ability, which is Ascension, I'm going after my next kill, I will get another orb on top of all the other orbs I'm getting. Yeah, there you go. You've had your information. So now let's just talk quickly about stats. And this is an oversight. And I forgot about this. Amplified gives you a 50 mobility stat bump. Right. Okay, got it? Now, I went with a high mobility stat in this. But I may experiment with a lower mobility stat because when I'm amplified, I get tier 10 mobility anyways. So the ample mobility tier probably for this is a tier 5 mobility. You don't need this much. I don't think you need this much. That would help you to then put more stacks into your grenade and your melee a bit more. It's a minor criticism of myself because I know someone's going to bring that up. And it's something that I do keep forgetting about. I wish it was on the tooltip to remind me, you know, look, Amplified does give you extra mobility, but it doesn't tell you anywhere in-game that it does. Not until I went on to my dim and my items, I was like, oh, damn it. Amplified gives a tier 5 mobility bump, so you don't need this much mobility, but it can't hurt that much because, you know, with Radiant Dance Machines, high mobility, it's just fun. But yeah, you could go tier 5 mobility and then put more stat distribution into strength and discipline, for example. So yeah, you've had the information on that. Now let's talk weapons. Again, this is particular to the GM that I ran. We're using Revision 0 for Barrier Champs, the best exotic primary, in my opinion, for GMs. It's hands down the best GM weapon now, I think. I'm committing to it. I'm saying it's probably the best exotic primary now for Grandmasters. I don't see any other weapon beating it. Not even Outbreak can, because Outbreak does not have intrinsic champ mod. That's the minor criticism of the gun. And there's no barrier pulse or something like that. Revision Zero with its sniper mode, it's just massive damage. I choose the light heavy burst. Heavy burst is better than light burst. Light burst gives you more sniper shots, yes, but the heavy burst is too good to pass up. It does more damage and is more consistent to use over the light burst. I know because I've used both. Light burst gives more sniper shots, yeah. Yeah, it does. But if you coordinate your sniper shots, you don't need all that much anyways, so I just go with the heavy burst. Velocity Baton is tying this build all together. Whip out your Velocity Batons from last season, because even though it's not got champ mods, it doesn't matter. It's the utility of the gun with attrition orbs, allowing you to spam woven mail and stuff. And your nades as well to some degree. So we went with Velocity Baton to tie this build together. And finally, in my case, I need a damage linear, so I used Mistral Lift with Bait and Switch Envious Assassin. It actually came out really clutch. But what I will tell you is, after I've told you the weapons, right? The weapons can be interchangeable for this build. You could use Barrow Dyad if you wanted. You could use a whole host of different weapons. You use different weapons depending on what you are doing, but the base build is cooking with the Ascension and the Freddied Spectre. Yeah, I'm just using these weapons to complement exactly what I'm doing. I'm building for the GM first that I'm doing. Right, so the GM that I'm picking is that I want a short GM, but I want to play really aggressive, and I want to showcase this build off as much as possible. Could have went Scarlet Cape, could have went Inside Terminus, could have went Warden and Offing, or even Hypernet. They're the shortest GMs out of the bunch. But I went with Warden because we're going to do no cheese at the boss, so it's going to demonstrate the Freddy Spectres off in the best possible light. And the fact that we're going to play hyper aggressive in this. I'm not really going to be sitting back that much. I need to showcase these clones off to you as much as possible. For this GM, for this week, it's Void Surge, Strand Surge. That's why I'm doing it. Also, Silk Strike will get that buff. Also, Revision Zero will get a buff because you're using Silk Strike. So you've overcharged. You have overcharged Revision Zero because of this. Solar Threat's on, that's why I ran double Solar Resist, which actually is required if you're not doing the no cheese at the final boss fight. Champions are Barrier Overload and Unstoppable, so we are stress testing this build by having all three champs, yeah, and we're trying to do it as, we're trying to play quite hyper aggressive if we can. That was the mods, that's the build, that's the part one, now the part two to demonstrate the actual information. Okay, so this is part two of the video. You're getting two videos for one here, aren't you, Hunter Mains? So, part two, this is the demonstration of everything, tying everything together. Let's explain on a moment-to-moment basis on exactly what's going on and dial in the commentary for this run. No filler too much in this. Amplified, we use an Ascension to get our speed booster to run through a little quicker. We're going to get an orb off this Goblin, just to sort of showcase, Woven Mill off. So we got Woven Mill. We are going to focus on some of these ads just to demonstrate the build a little bit. We can skip them. We've got a Zealous Bane in mid. Look at the clone. Look what the clone's doing. Even though we got weak-ish, the clone start to then, the ads start to focus on the clone. We've got our Ascension back with the primary kills. We get a stun with Ascension because it jolts targets. Then we're going to do a blatant switch rotation with this linear. And we'll finish him to save a bit of heavy ammo just in case the game's not kind to us. Because I do need to make sure that I've got plenty of heavy when I get to the final boss. I know we're a mile off from that, but I'll manage my heavy encounter to encounter, not using that much of it. Only using it when I really, really, want to use it. Not using it for sake of using it. That's the first section done. Overload was melted quickly. Look at the ability energy. Look at the amount of Transcendence energy that we already have. Yeah? We've only just kill the initial set of ads. Right now, all I need for the next section is one grenade and a melee, which I've got both, haven't I? And a decoy, which I've got two decoys, because remember with Radiant Dance Machines, you can overcharge your dodges and have 3. You will see me get 3. I'm going to use a pike because it's tankier than a sparrow. Yep, pikes are tankier than sparrows. Never comes up in a GM, but it has in this one, so let's just use it. I'm going to sparrow or pike round these ads. Unstop pushes. I'm quite weak before I get my stun, but that's fine. Get a stun with the grenade, right? And then we use a decoy, and then we're done. HP's at 70%, and we tanked a lot of energy there. We tanked a lot of damage. So now we move on. We skip the Hydra. We don't need to kill him. We're wanting to go pretty quick in this. We get weak, but we know Velocity Baton will give us an orb and Woven Mail. There we go. We jolt and make a... Look at the champ. We make a clone in the air, so they're harder to take out, you see. Whereas if a clone's on the ground, like I did with my previous clone video, it's not quite as good. As a few viewers told me about this and said, oh, if you use your clones with Ascension, it actually makes them better, and it's true that it does. As a deceptive skill, it does. We are skimming past the trains. We're going to get a stun on this unstop with a grenade and a melee, because slow stacks, we want to get higher slow stacks. Then we use a super. Good time to use a super. You can use Ascension unlimited in your super, right, on this class. You have unlimited time to make the cooldown. I showcased that the other day, didn't I? Look at the barrier. He's not even on us. Why would I need Invis if the ads don't track me? Don't need it. Ascension and Fretted Spectre is better. There's times when we need Stylish. Yep, there's definitely times. But this is simulating a way on how to survive on a Hunter without the use of Invis. Because Hunter mains have been locked to Invis jail for now 9 years. Whenever Nightstalker came out, it came out with Taken King, didn't it? So he's been locked to it to a degree. Even on Prismatic, he's been running Stylish Executioner. I'm not even running Invis and I'm successful without it. I'm playing aggressive. We're going to overcharge, or we're going to get the sniper mode for Revision 0. We'll kill the Hydra first, because it makes sense to do that. Yeah, then we'll get rid of the explosive barrels left and mid. There we go. Now we'll push up. We're going to deal with left-hand side champ and ads first. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Use an Ascension clone. Boom, we're on the stairs. Champ is not sniping me at all. Now he does, because my clone is now destroyed. But that's fine. So now the barrier champ is focused on us, but he's killed by that point. We're going to make another clone now. There we go. Boom. Barrier champ is not sniping us. All the ads are on the clone. This is how good it is. Get rid of this champ. We need to do some ad clear here though quickly. Make another clone, because we've got another clone to use. There we go. And then we can multitask the ads and the barrier. We're going to get rid of this barrier because he's starting to slow up the run slightly. I don't want to be too static. There we go. He's done. We can use our Dust Veil when, we're close up ads and slows them. That's what's so good about Dust Veil. It's good on not just champs, but it's good on ads as well. It's a very good utility grenade. Hypernova in mid. We're going to pop a Transcendence. Let's get rid of him. We need to get into middle and get rid of some of these ads and spawn in the VIP. Be careful of trains. They're all frozen. Look at that. They're all frozen. I'll make a clone so that we can fight them, without them bothering us too much. Champ, the boss has spawned in. Can we get a Transcendence nade on? We can. Remember, Facet of Ruin buffs Transcendence Prismatic nades. Now we'll try and do some damage, but the train's been annoying and the boss is not allowing me to get a crit on him. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. There we go. Look, I'm trying to DPS him. He's just been annoying. So we'll do our crits here, although he does get me pretty weak because of poor positioning a little bit. Not really, it's just he took the splash damage. Concussive Dampener obviously saved us there a little bit. He's gone on the train tracks, then he goes to mid. I don't know what's going on there. Weapon's not reloaded, damn it, messing around a little bit, but that's fine. We are done with this encounter now. Heavy ammo count, 15, not bad, as long as it's healthy enough as we go along. Special ammo, I don't need to bother even looking at it. Because of how ammo economy, the ammo economy of Velocity Baton, you don't really need to pay attention to it. It's very rare you will run out of ammo or velocity baton, and if you have, it means you've spammed it a ton. It really, really does. It's difficult to run out of this weapon for the ammo. Okay, we're 7 minutes in. That boss encounter has been done. We've got a super and almost transcendence. We'll basically get transcendence because of Revision 0. Remember, Revision 0 does light and darkness energy. Exotic primaries are very good at this. So is Witherhoard, and there's a bunch of other weapons that are also good at it. But I'm just saying that it's really good paired because you're getting plenty of transcendence. But remember, you're overcharging your dodges. So I'm getting benefit from using a primary in a build. You know that I like primaries in GMs. I'm a big advocate of using primaries in GMs. I guess it's a playstyle thing. I run double special as well. Yeah. But, you know, this build revolves around a primary ammo weapon and it suits my playstyle. I love primary ammos, especially ones that hit hard, like Outbreak, Wish Ender, Revision 0, Malfeasance. I love them in GMs. I don't think there's a problem with me loving them either. Yeah? I don't think there's a problem with people liking exotic primaries. I would hate if the game was constantly just a double special meta. Imagine if it was always double special meta. I wouldn't like the game. I probably would get fed up with it, definitely. We're going to use an Ascension here to skip. Champs were dealt with the Transcendence very easily. We've got a super to burn. My goal here is to skip this section and kill the Overload or the Unstop. That is the goal right now. We're going to play aggressive, go into mid, get rid of the explosive barrels because they can actually kill you. One nearly does, I think. Snipers need to be we need to get rid of the sniper. Then what we're going to do is wait for the ads to go into middle a little bit, the champs. There we go, they're in mid. We'll get a good Duskveil down. And then we have jolted this target. And we are doing massive damage. This champ is weak. We'll do an Ascension in a super to reapply jolt to the Overload. We have just killed an Unstop and an Overload basically in our super. That's really good. That speeds this a little bit up. We'll get Radiant melee, but the barrier's been annoying. I can't see his back crit. There we go. We do get his back crit. There we go. We do in the end. Right. Then we get a good Duskveil grenade down. And we're going to do another Transcendence just to showcase it off a little bit more. So just look at the amount of damage those Transcendence nades are doing. The trip mines. Yep. We're just going to spam our stuff. We're not going to use heavy notice. Look at the barrel to my right. Ascension can kill you with the barrels. The barrel exploded. I'm not using any heavy at all. Simply because I don't need to. And I want to make sure that I am going to the boss fight with... Look, I've got some ammo there. With at least 15 ammo. 15 to 20 ammo. So I'm not going to spam linear until I see a brick or two. Right, next phase, we're going to get a Duskveil down, an Ascension spam. We've got Woven Mail. We break the Barrier Champ shield really quickly. We use a bit of heavy just to finish him off because it's critical at this moment that we quickly kill this Unstop before he gets a thing on us. We use double Wither and Blade there. That's why Wither and Blade's so good. Stop and Unstop so quickly like that. Allows for more damage. There we go. We get the finisher kill on the champ. Bolt charge helping us out. We're getting lots of bolt charges in this as well, notice. Because we're doing a lot of ability damage. And bolt charges, you know, working with that, with the stuns on champs is really good. Make another clone. We'll cap A. Look at the ads. Look at that AI. That's why I like this so much. Because if there's one thing that I like the most in this game is when we can do some good tricks against ads for AI manipulation. Well, hey. This build is AI manipulation. That's exactly what it is. Ads are focusing entirely on that aerial clone. That's what they are, aren't they? And yeah, they do take them out eventually, and they're not as tanky as if you use them with balance of power, but the utility of Radiant Dance Machines allowing you to get that many dodges is really crazy. You can technically run... I could have spammed more dodges than now, but I'm only using them as I should. You know, rather than spam 2, I'll only maybe use 1. Don't need 2 up. By the time that copy is killed, I've killed the ads anyways. We're capping C. We don't want to use Super or Transcendence. Well, I could have used Transcendence, but look, the ads are dead. No need to use a Transcendence there. But the critical thing is having a super. This will speed up the boss for me. It allows me to melt the boss so that we don't need to clear any of the ads, basically. We get a little unlucky with the super, but it's not too bad. Keep close eye attention on the clone and what it does with this section as well. So look, we do our ascension there. Oh no, we didn't. Damn it. I thought I did use it. Maybe that's why we don't end up one cycling him, because he's not jolted. Damn it, I should have used my ascension there. That was a slight error there. I end up using it. There we go. Bit too late though. But look at the ads and the boss. He's entirely focused on that Spectre. So you can have bosses, to a degree, focus on a Spectre. Which if you don't know, and this is a bit more of a nuanced thing, but when you're like using blinding nades on a boss, right? Blinding nades don't work on bosses, do they? If you could blind a boss, it would be OP. You can't. You can't blind them in the sense that they will be incapacitated. But you can freeze them, but it only freezes them a little bit and they break out of that freeze. But with the clone, I don't know the exact AI path, and if you use this on a raid boss, does the raid boss entirely focus the clone? I don't know, like I haven't tested it to that degree. Does a dungeon boss entirely focus the clone? But I think he would. I think the boss would. I think this works on bosses the same way as it works on champs, as in the clone thing. I'm going to pay close attention to the clone uses now to see if the boss targeted me more or less when I had a clone up. Right, this is advanced information and I don't fully truly know the answer to it either. I'm going to see if I can work it out while we're doing commentary on this. So first goal is to clear the barrier champ. That's what I'm going to do. I'm getting a bit of a bad luck with him. Can't see his back crate. He's now focused on me, but that's fine. He's also hiding, so we end up losing a couple of shots, but that's fine because we end up killing him anyways. We've got our Radiant here. Boom, good damage. There we go, get rid of the barrier champ. Transcendence is to be spammed or used, when we're up against the barrier, the Unstoppable and the Overload. Look at this damage we're doing. Ascension, Velocity Baton. We've got Amplified, Radiant, Woven Mail. Look at how many buffs we've got. Look at the damage we're doing to these two champs. We don't need it for the barrier. The barrier is easy. It's just the Overload and Unstoppable. That's why we pop Transcendence. Although we've still got it, look. Still got it. We're going to abuse this champ a little bit, I think, for targeting data. Look at targeting data. I'm taking my time with him, notice, because I'm building up Transcendence energy and a bit of targeting data if I need it. Don't think I did need it too much, though. But, you know, that's what we're doing. Right, Radiant melee. We've got 3 dodges. I didn't use my clone because I'm doing bait and switch damage. I do end up using it, though. Look at the damage we're doing. Massive damage with Mistral Lift. We get the boss half HP, just about. Now we go behind cover while we wait for the solar. We're not playing passive. We're just making sure we don't die to the solar. You have to do this on any class. For the most part. For the most part. Yeah. Look, there we go. The solar goes away. We use a super. Now we're going to get rid of these some of these ads. We're getting stuck. For some reason I'm getting stuck in there. Use the rest of our super on the boss. Look at the damage it's doing. Quite good damage. We'll grapple over to cover because we've got another sun location thing where the island is scorched. We make a clone here just in case anything pushes me. Yeah, then we'll pop a Transcendence because we've got it to use. Now we need to get rid of some of these ads. That's what we're doing here. Okay, make a clone in the air. That'll obviously... I didn't get a good chance to see if the boss was taking shots at the clone. Look at that Scion. He's entirely focused on the clone, not me. That's what's so good about this. That's what's unbelievably good about this. And in Warden, you can easily die as well to the Scorch. It will kill you quick. So, you know, it's a testament to it. We get weak here. I'm trying to use my ability. I do end up using it. A guy pushes. I survive because of Woven Mail. Guy pushed me behind my back. I didn't see. We use our abilities. We've got an orange bar Cabal enemy here. We're going to finish him. Procs Ward saves us. That's why we use it. A Minotaur pushes, but we get Orbs of Power. Look at how OP it is. Then we'll finish the boss off with a bait and switch rotation at the end So yeah, that's a demonstration of the build. Really good, honestly. Hunter mains, you need to try out this. Take Starless Execution off, use Ascension, Freddy Spectre, the build I suggested. It's amazing. Hope you enjoy, thank you.